Hello, everybody. Welcome back. This is week 3 of the Teacup for One Cinderella movie marathon. My name is Matt, and I have 2 degrees, and we are here to talk about one of the big ones in the pantheon, in the lexicon, the other cons of Cinderella films. Tonight, we are talking about Kenneth Branagh's 2015 Cinderella. This is the movie that kicked us into the current trend we have of Disney live action remakes. Some might say they should have quit while they were ahead. Would I be one of those people? Maybe. We'll get into it tonight. This film, it boasts an all-star cast. We've got Lily James. We have, I was going to say Kenneth Branagh, but he directed it. Helena Bonham Carter, Kate Blanchett, Robert Madden, is that his name? Rob Stark from Game of Thrones shows up. Derek Jacobi, one of the Skarsgårds, but like senior Skarsgård, like Daddy Skarsgård. Kate Blanchett, and most importantly, a fluffy gray cat playing Lucifer. I could have done with more of the cat. Hashtag justice for Lucifer. Speaking of cats, let's see what we have in the comments section, because it looks like my cats are here. So yes, Sabrina was here. She liked the movie. Mice were cute. Goose was fun. I did love the addition of Mr. Goose. He is an unsung hero of this movie. Eliza is here. She watched it. Lucifer needs a good brushing. It's true. And Eliza is brushed at least 5 times a day. Eliza has much nicer fur than Lucifer in this movie. Although Eliza would never let herself go onto a leash. And that's a point against her, because I really want to walk a cat on a leash. Every time I see this movie and Kate Blanchett enters with her cat on a leash, I'm like, that's a power move. All I want in life is to enter a large house and to stake my claim as the master of the house with a cat on a leash. That's all I want. That's all I want. Okay. And then we've also got my mom. This is her favorite Cinderella movie. The costumes are gorgeous. Loves the glass slippers, blue ball gown, but the wedding dress was the favorite. You know what? The wedding dress's reputation, like, it outshone this movie when it came out, at least in my experience. I didn't see this movie like on opening weekend. It was probably like 2 or 3 weeks after it came out. And pretty well everyone I spoke to, they all said the wedding dress was their favorite part. Like, I had friends saying her wedding dress, that's going to be my wedding dress. And spoiler alert, those people have since gotten married. It wasn't their wedding dress. So just no shade, no tea, but wasn't their wedding dress. So anyway, let's bring in our first guest for tonight. It's Lauren, everybody. Hi, Lauren.
Hello.
Welcome. How are you doing tonight?
I'm doing well. Thank you very much.
Good. I'm so excited to dive into this movie with you. And also, like I said, this movie, like, it started live action remakes. So our opening question for today, Lauren, what is your favorite Disney live action remake that's not this? Because I think this
Okay,
is
that's not this. Is the Jungle Book. The Jungle. I thought I was actually pleasantly surprised. I love the animated feature, but it's not necessarily one of my favorites.
Mhm.
But when I saw this movie, it was like there's a moment where you see the castle, and then all of a sudden it's a river, and you hear that familiar score from the 1960s version, and I'm like, I'm in. and,
Yes.
the, and the rest of it did not disappoint me. So
Yeah, I have to revisit that one. From what I remember, it was really good. I think my only issue with it was that it felt kind of like, I don't know, there was a simplicity to it. It just felt like, here's Mowgli going from animal to animal, and now it's
mhm.
over. But I also remember just kind of being wowed by it, and just especially the kid who played Mowgli. Like, my
The
feeling
kids
has
that
always been like, he's the reason that the movie works. Like, you take
yes.
out the human element, as we see with Lion King and Mufasa. Like, why would they do a second one? Doesn't matter.
Mhm.
You don't have a human and you just have the creepy animals. It doesn't work. It doesn't work.
Yeah.
There we go. Anyway, but yeah, like, they started off so strong. Jungle Book, Cinderella, and actually, granted, I am a Snow White defender, so it's hills and valleys.
Yeah, I'm looking forward to seeing that based on your recommendation, but
It's
it,
so
it
good.
won't be until Disney Plus.
It's so good. I'm hoping that's gonna be one of those like titles that just has a big not renaissance, but like a huge uptick and a resurgence when it goes to Disney Plus, like an Encanto. Like, it was just really lackluster in theaters, but then once it's like free or streaming and people actually
Yeah,
watch it, they realize how good it is.
totally.
Yeah, not to say I think Encanto is good, because I don't think Encanto is But anyway, let's bring in our next guest. Look, everyone, it's Jeanette.
Ooh,
Hello.
Hello. Oh, Cinderella
you're
lighting.
looking very blue.
Yes, I figured I would do it, and then I realized it kind of looks undersea, but whatever. It's fine.
You know, I've been contemplating for May doing the Mermaid movie marathon, like just all mermaid movies.
Ooh.
Oh,
Can we do?
yeah.
Do you know what I've never watched? And this
Splash?
is hilarious. No. Oh, I love Splash. I've never watched Mermaids, and I am a huge Cher fan, a huge Winona Ryder fan, and a huge Christina Ricci fan. Never watched Mermaids.
All three of them are in that?
And I don't know how I've never done that, but I haven't. So yeah, I would love to watch that. So if we could do that, that'd be so cool.
That could be the time. I was thinking about it the other day. I was like, are there enough good mermaid movies that
Oh
aren't
yes,
Japanese horror films? Because apparently some of the best.
Dang, we've already watched the Pirates of the Caribbean one. That was a good.
Yeah. Yeah. I mean, I would definitely want, if we did that, I'd want to do Grinding Nemo or Shape of Water, as others call it.
Oh, I was like, wait, what?
Yeah, no, I like to call Shape of Water Finding or Grinding Nemo, because like,
Oh my goodness, I've only watched it twice, and so that would really shatter my image of it. But I love Michael Shannon, and I love Guillermo del Toro, and
oh, I love
Doug
it.
Doug Jones. Doug Jones. I
Yeah.
almost said Douglas Adams, and that's not that person.
Yeah, and I really like whatever the main lady's name is. I think it's like Sally something something.
Unfortunately, that's not in my pantheon on that movie, but yeah, she was great.
She
But
was
yeah,
quite good. Yeah, and it's like that movie is just lots of fun as well. Being someone who more or less lives in Toronto, since there are lots of places that are identifiably Toronto landmarks. Yeah, like the theater that she lives in is Massey Hall, which is like in like the most central. Like I'm going to see Postmodern Jukebox there in 2 or 3 months. Like I'm so excited. Yeah, but it's a good time. I've also heard like there's this really delightful fan theory that since Shape of Water and Hairspray and one other movie, they all take place in Baltimore. I think
yeah.
literally the same year, and they were all shot in Toronto. So it's like they're all in one shared universe. Like Tracy
Oh.
Turnblad is coexisting with Fishman. I need the crossover. Anyway,
Tell me more. Yes.
tell me more. Tell me more. Tell me more, Jeanette. What is your favorite Disney live action remake that's not this movie? Not to say that this one is. But...
That's not this movie. So my answer is this one usually. And then honestly, and I'm not trying to be cheeky, and the young people think I'm trying to be cool, but I'm not. It's 101 Dalmatians. Probably. I mean, are we including theme park rides or just movies?
No, I'll include. Well, Pirates. No, actually, no, just movies. Just movies.
Okay, yeah, I was gonna say because it's pirates. I mean, that's the answer for sure. But no, okay, so then yeah, it's probably 101 Dalmatians.
That is a solid one.
And I'll give you a hot take one. I really enjoyed the newest Haunted Mansion movie.
Oh, that's not.
I did
That's
too.
a correct take.
I thought it was fantastic. I thought it did a much better job with the New Orleans atmosphere. I thought it did an all around better job.
I feel like you're the authority.
Other than Jennifer Tilly. Did they feature her? They didn't feature her. No.
Mm-hmm.
So anytime there was Jennifer Tilly and then there's no Jennifer Tilly, I'll be upset. But whatever.
We got Jamie Lee Curtis.
Sure.
Yeah.
I don't know that was my favorite part of it, but it was an okay part of it. Yeah.
I mean, I could have done with more Leota representation, and like overall, Hatbox Ghost to me is not a very interesting character to be like the main antagonist. But
I just don't like that it was Jared Leto, but whatever. I have to deal with him in a lot of Disney stuff, so whatever.
Oh yeah, Tron. You know what's so funny was like, well, going slightly off topic, but like I'm tired and have a headache, and this is where my brain is at. Yeah, they're like Disney dropped that Tron trailer randomly on a Saturday, and there was all this build up to it, like Tron trailer coming Saturday. And one of my coworkers who loves Tron, he was like, why would they release it on a Saturday and not a week ago with Snow White? I'm like, I don't know. And then that Saturday happened, and all across my social media is like Universe Media Preview, Epic Universe Media Preview, Epic Universe Media Preview, Tron trailer. I'm like, oh, Disney, that's all you had.
Uh-oh.
You knew what was going to be flooding the socials.
Yeah.
So that's why you slid Tron right in. But
yeah, they're having trouble with that in general these days, aren't they? But yeah.
yeah, I want to go Epic Universe so badly. I'm hoping people keep watching my crappy little 7-second video that's on TikTok that's like almost at 40,000 views, and like maybe that'll monetize the TikTok, even though you can't do that in Canada. Then that'll pay for my Epic Universe trip. That's the dream. That's the dream.
Yeah.
Yeah. Wait, what's my favorite live action remake that's not this? Cruella, maybe, but it's not really a remake. It's its own thing. I do really like Little Mermaid. For me, it's a toss-up. Actually, it's probably a toss between Mermaid and Snow White, weirdly enough.
Wow.
I know.
Huh. Okay.
That was really.
Can I tell you, my least favorite, for a reason that you mentioned earlier, is Lion King, because it's still just animated. There's no humans in that movie. It's just animated. That makes me it makes me so mad. And it makes me mad that they canceled the Tangled production, and yet that was one of the main ones that was all humans and would have made total sense to make. Would have been beautiful. Would have been a wonderful musical. And we'll get to the element of musicals within this movie in a little bit. You know, like we'll talk about that, or the lack thereof.
Tangled had so much.
Makes me sad that got canceled because of how poorly they've chosen which movies to do to this point. In my opinion.
I mean, give us Atlantis. Where's the Atlantis movie?
Also, you got Pinocchio, and you fumbled. You fumbled. That should have been beautiful.
Yep, should have been.
Think of mine.
It should have been Roger Rabbit-esque, in my opinion. That movie should have been like, you know, like interacting with this thing that's not there. That's the whole movie. Right. You know, like. Oh.
Yeah.
Instead, we got Tom Hanks with another bad accent. I don't know.
Yeah, Pinocchio is my go-to worst movie I've seen probably in my life.
Wow!
I wouldn't go that far.
I think it is.
Have you ever watched Reign of Fire? And I'm a huge Christian Bale fan.
No. Would that take the crown? I don't know.
It's the only movie I've ever walked out on, and it was on a date.
Oh my God! Did you walk out on the date too? Did you just leave them there?
I mean, no. I went to the arcade and played Pump on, so it was that time period just to date myself. Whatever.
Nice.
I'm just saying, like, there are worse, but like, yes, oh my God, to say that is a big deal.
Yeah. Well, it is to me. I think what that Peter Pan movie is to Lisa. It's just like,
which is my favorite reference to this day. Is just to say it's as bad as the Peter Pan in 2000.
Even though House of Yes, I believe Lisa said dethroned.
Which makes me not, I mean, hello, the proof is in the pudding, because Parker Posey rules the world right now. So I'm just saying.
Right? Speaking of ruling the world, we have our final guest for this evening. Look, it's Vince, everybody.
Yo, what's happening, everybody?
Welcome. Good to see you. Welcome back. How have you been?
I've been okay. It's been a little while since I've been on the show.
We've missed you.
Hey, I'm happy to be here. I've never seen this movie before, except since until yesterday. That is.
Which means you saw Pam and Tommy before you saw this, right?
Yes,
that's
absolutely.
Uncomfortable. That's very uncomfortable.
It was a little weird, but I was able to separate the characters.
Well, like, she doesn't have her real face in Pam and Tommy.
No, so, I know. That's it.
No. Yeah, she's wearing like a fake brow or something.
I just can't imagine watching them in the opposite direction.
Oh, yeah, no. It's crazy. Vince, what's your favorite Disney live action remake?
You know what? I really liked Mulan. And I know there's some controversy surrounding the film in terms of like the production and like, the Chinese government and whatnot. But it had some wonderful fight scenes, and I got to see Mulan kick a spear through someone's chest, and that was pretty cool. I did not expect that from a Disney film. So, but you know what? Disney can get pretty bloody and gory from time to time.
Oh yeah.
I don't know if anyone's seen any the new Daredevil, but it is surprisingly
No.
surprisingly
so good.
Oh, it's wonderful.
Yeah.
No, Disney will push the limits once in a while. Yeah. But for something Disney branded, I think like that's the difference. Daredevil to me is like Disney put the money into it, but it doesn't have the castle before it. But like Mulan, you're right. It has the castle, and it still also has the spear going through.
Agreed. Yeah. Mulan, very good.
I keep forgetting about that movie. I love that movie too.
Yeah, like that was a victim of like all the initial.
I never watched that one. I should watch that one now, I guess.
Yeah, I paid the extra $30 on Disney Plus to watch it the day it came out.
That's why I didn't watch it.
Me
It was
too.
$30. Now it's not, and I just forgot to watch it.
Yeah, no, like I mean that
Now I
era
don't
was
have
one of the
Disney
only things
Plus,
I had to look
so.
forward to.
But I will say, when they crank out a live action Hunchback, I think that might dethrone Mulan for me.
Oh, that
I
would
would
be
love-
so happy, but I don't
It's just
think.
not
As
canceled.
long as it's a musical.
What?
As long as it's a musical.
They canned it?
Or they paused it.
Oh, I'm
Josh
So
sorry.
what's
Gad-
interesting to me is that Universal has a live action Hunchback that's been around for years and years and years. So I wonder if Disney could make it. I guess they would
Well,
be
they-
allowed. I don't know. I guess
Yeah.
so.
Well, I mean, it's just like anyone can make a Cinderella movie. It's like
Public
definitely
domain.
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay.
Yeah, we watched the Universal Hunchback.
Yeah, we did.
Yeah, it's
What-
like 100 years old.
What if Disney was going to plan on making Quasimodo like a CGI figure, like the dwarves, and now they're completely
See
backpedaling?
again.
hope they're-
That's what. Okay, can we? Are we going to start with that? Are we starting with that? I mean, we can start with that.
Okay.
Okay, yeah, sure. Let's start with that.
I'm just saying, like they really chickened out. I don't want to use a freaking outdated term for this, but like they really chickened out on how they approached you know, the dwarves in that new movie.
Mhm.
Sorry.
Oh yeah, 100%, 100%. And I think that's also a big reason that Hunchback has been paused. Is the question of like how to put Quasi on screen.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's exactly. So I'm like, I don't know. I wouldn't take it.
Yeah. And then also I like just Hunchback's a difficult property, I think, for Disney to do. Like the animated movie is great, but is also it in some ways doesn't work just because they can't quite go as far as they're implying they want to go.
Yeah, I'm like,
Mm.
not that you have to find somebody that looks like him. It's just like if you make it a fully CGI character,
Oh yeah.
what are you doing? So,
Yeah, that would be rough.
Indeed, but we will see. I mean, they're running out of movies to remake, but let's talk about Cinderella. Here we go. All right. So, classic opening question. Please, everyone, tell us about the first time you saw this movie. And then we'll circle back to how does it hold up. I will go first because I've had such a dramatic shift in perspective with this film because I saw it when it first came out in theaters. And I was just kind of meh on it. To the point like where I don't think there was ever a point where I didn't like it, but there were elements of it that really annoyed me on my first viewing that sort of ruined the movie for me overall. And it just made me less interested in it. Like I walked away from the first viewing thinking this was okay. It was just like a generic Cinderella movie that I did not care for certain choices that were made at the end. And that is still my biggest qualm is I really don't like how certain things transpire in the third act of the film. But with each subsequent viewing, I've found more things that I appreciate with it, which I guess we'll circle back to when like we get to how does it hold up. But spoiler alert, I love this movie now. So there we go. Lauren, how about you? How'd you discover this movie? Do you see it?
Well, I of course, was a big. I mean, I am a big Disney fan, and so I wanted to go see the remake, but I was very trepidatious because, apologies to those who love this film, but I hate Maleficent. I hate that movie,
Yeah.
like so much. Like that to me is the worst Disney remake, and even more than Pinocchio.
Oh wow.
I know that's how much I hate it. There are parts. I mean, like Angelina Jolie is fine, but everything else about that film like drives me nuts. But anyway, so I went in there thinking, like how is this film going to be? But then I just loved it. I loved, I loved it, and I still love it. Yeah, does it have issues? Sure, but for a um, remake, like I said, it's my favorite of the remakes.
Nice. Jeanette, how about you?
How did I first discover it? I went and saw it in the theaters. I'm pretty sure it was 2015. So the thing is, what's weird to me is I thought this movie was much earlier than that. And when I'm like thinking back, but I'm pretty sure I saw it in theaters, and I loved it back. When I first saw it. On this rewatch, I wasn't as enthralled, I guess. And I realized why on this rewatch. I think I've only rewatched it maybe a couple of times since it's come out. My daughter would have been 3 when this came out, so I assume I would have taken her. But if this Angry Birds was her first movie. I know that. So if that came out after this, then we didn't take her to this. So I don't know. That would have been a very I don't know. That's what I had mom brain, I guess. I don't remember what if we took her to it or not. But I realized why I had this confused with Into the Woods, which came out in 2014, which I absolutely adore their version of the Cinderella story and the sisters that are in that and the song, all that. And I think I had those conflated in my head. And when I watched on this go round, it was kind of other than Kate Blanchett, that whole part of the storyline was a little bit not what I remembered it being.
Yeah.
But I still quite enjoyed this. It's still my favorite live action of the majority for many more reasons that we'll get into after this. But yeah, so first impressions and now impressions, a little bit different, but it's still my favorite live action of the Disney live actions.
Nice. I love the Into the Woods love. I'm always here for some Into the Woods love.
Yeah, the sisters in that movie to me are my favorite live depiction of the stepsisters ever.
Ever? Oh wow.
And they are definitely way more cruel than.
Yeah, and to have a showdown, isn't it Christine Baranski in that one, and then it's freaking Kate Blanchett in this? Come on, pull my leg a little bit more, oh no, I have to watch these two awesome people be this cool role.
Right.
I must say, every Cinderella adaptation, it seems like the stepmother is never a miss. No matter how
do a pretty decent job.
Yeah. No matter how good or bad a Cinderella movie might be, it seems like they always get the stepmother perfect.
Yes.
Yeah. Jennifer Coolidge. I still haven't seen it. I don't think that movie would be something I would enjoy, except Jennifer Coolidge as a stepmom.
Is that the one that is not any good? The newest one?
Hilary Duff. It's a Cinderella
the Hilary Duff.
Oh, that one. No, I want to see that. Yeah, and I never did. I want to see that.
I still haven't seen it. I don't know if I would like it, but one day.
It's worth it for Jennifer Coolidge.
I would watch it for Jennifer Coolidge.
Yeah.
Maybe I will. We'll see. Vince, this is your first time, so let's hear your first impressions, and then I guess we'll get into how does it hold up.
A little bit of backstory here. I first heard about this film when it came out in 2015, and I thought to myself, "Oh, I love Game of Thrones. Robb Stark is pretty cool. Maybe I should watch this movie. I'll bring someone who wants to see it." And then I saw him in the trailer, and he didn't have a beard, and I'm like, you know what? It changed my mind. I don't know. In some cases, the beard makes the man, I guess. And he's got some quality facial hair in Game of Thrones.
Yeah.
But I should have given him a chance, because watching it yesterday, I thought it was good. I thought he was a good prince. I thought Lily James was wonderful. Kate Blanchett, I don't have to say it, but she stole the show. You know, she always does. Every time she's on camera, you know, you're like, I love Kate Blanchett, you know?
Yep.
Surely
I think this movie club has slowly turned into like a Kate Blanchett fan club.
Yeah.
We're like,
I realize
really,
that
she can't do anything wrong.
like it's become like an event for us. I feel when there's a Kate movie, and it just kind of like this just kind of fell into place. But it wasn't until I sat down and started to watch it, I was like, oh my god, wait, it's a Kate movie. We're here.
Yeah.
Oh, what a shame Lisa's missing this week. Do we know if Lisa has seen this movie?
I talked to her. She has not seen this movie.
No.
I watched it solo. Our schedules didn't match up. But
I feel like she still needs to see it just for Kate.
She'll check it out eventually. But hey, she saw Borderlands last year, and Kate Blanchett was the best part of that film.
Didn't she say Borderlands was?
Curtis are in that.
Didn't she really like Borderlands? And she said it was better than what was that other movie that was similar that came out last year?
I don't know about last year, but she thinks it's better than Guardians of the Galaxy.
It was something like that. It was like it's better than XYZ, and I was like, that just because of Kate Blanchett?
I literally have to watch Borderlands, but it might be on like a sliding scale of various different factors. But like, yeah. I think there's a male straightness that exists in Guardians of the Galaxy that might be a little bit obnoxious for Lisa. That is not so obnoxious for me. And so, like, I do think that might be a little bit omnipresent in Guardians of the Galaxy.
That's a little on the nose. I agree with you.
All right, Kate Blanchett, love her. All right, let's discuss how does the movie hold up for those of us who have saw it 10 years ago and are revisiting it now 10 years later. As I kind of alluded to, for me, this movie is one that I appreciate more and more on every viewing for a bunch of reasons. And the things that have always annoyed me about this movie still annoy me, but I sort of have a slightly different perspective on them. The main thing being that I get really angry when it gets to the very last scene when she's locked in the attic and the narrator is just like, she was fine with it. She was just going to sing and she was happy to just let all the happy memories be memories. And I was just like, that was when the movie lost me and I wrote it off 10 years ago. I was like, no, I hate this. I hate it. And I still do. But I think it makes a bit more sense to me now, even though I do think that moment could have been reworked a little bit. But something that really stood out to me on this rewatch was just how much and how intentionally I think Kenneth Branagh leaned into the toxic, emotionally, mentally abusive relationship between stepmother and Cinderella. It really stood out to me on this rewatch as to how much she gaslights Cinderella for the entire movie and how that's not just a sort of passing thing. That to me is very much the point that this film is trying to make about those two characters and about their dynamic, where you kind of consistently see her warping the reality. And they even sort of allude to it at the beginning when the narrator, when Helena Bonham Carter says, oh, well, if you hear yourself being called a name, you'll start to believe it. It's that just kind of became the through line to the point when the stepmother is talking about what happened at the ball. And we literally just saw with our own eyes what the reality was. But she's just so committed to she just made a spectacle of herself and she embarrassed herself and the prince. And I'm like, oh, my gosh, this woman is just coasting through life, manipulating everyone with her words. And so I really appreciated on this rewatch that this depiction of Cinderella was a really dark and I think realistic one of somebody who would not be maybe as empowered as we would want to see a revisionist Disney princess in the 21st century. I think we all want to see a Drew Barrymore / Danielle, someone who's very assertive and very strong in spite of their circumstances. But I think there was something really important that was established here where it was you can have hope in horrible circumstances, but that doesn't negate how it's going to affect you mentally. And it got to the point where that last scene when the guard like comes up to the attic, I was like, they're wearing old-timey costumes, but this could almost just be like I'm watching a Lifetime movie where the cop is like saving the girl who's been locked in the attic by her horrible parent. And like,
yeah, they're wearing old-timey costumes except for Kate Blanchett and her daughters, right? Like,
yeah,
her daughters are in the 60s and she's in like the 40s, and then everybody else is in like sometime in provincial France.
that's the magic, because she's so far ahead of her time. She's so far
I'm
ahead.
like, what are these collars? What are these cut-ass collars, Kate Blanchett?
That's another thing that I love about the movie, that I've always loved, actually, but that I have appreciated more, is just, I personally really like anachronisms when they're intentionally done. And Sandy Powell, who I adore, even her work in Snow White, in all the featurettes, she was like, we were going for very 1940s old-timey movie star with Kate and whatever. I'm like, it makes no sense, but yes, works the costume, Kate.
Look, I love A Knight's Tale. It doesn't have to make sense, okay?
Exactly. There it is. But yeah, long story short, I think this movie really taps into the mental and emotional tone of Cinderella that's so crucial to the story that a lot of films tend to shy away from. And it's just so well acted. Everyone. I think this cast is impeccable. And just to see actors of this quality really committed to a fairy tale movie, it's like, I don't know, it's like seeing a really good Marvel property with really good actors making something that would otherwise be ridiculous, like WandaVision, for example, just be the most engaging, watchable thing because of how good they are. So, I love this movie. Lauren, how's it hold up for you on this rewatch?
Oh, it held up for me for sure. I the things that I kind of not forgot. I remembered them in the film, but that really kind of got me were the mother, her Haley Atwell, Cinderella's actual mother. Loved the addition of her in the film. Kate Blanchett, of course, because Lady Tremaine is my second favorite Disney villain. And I just think that she came as close to her as possible and fleshed her out a bit. You know, like in terms of giving her a backstory and stuff like that. Like when she has a whole speech about how she married a man for love, and then she lost him, and then she married again, and then she was saddled with, you know, Cinderella, basically. I thought that was a really interesting part. And just the dress, again, just really, like, stood out to me once more. Like, I remember loving the dress back then, but it really, truly is a triumph to costuming for coming up with that dress and setting it again, and the set design for both of those things to match, you know, I thought was really excellent. So yeah, that's what it to me, it really has held up, if not more, like really showcasing some things that I kind of forgot about.
Yeah, the dress, it's so magical. The blue, the pop of the blue. It's so
Yeah.
so good.
Yeah, the dress is pretty cool. It felt like a tribute to Sailor Moon when she was donning the dress. You know, she was twirling around and they do the colors and stuff.
Oh,
yeah, I was
God.
instantly reminded of that.
Yeah.
The dress transformation. Yeah, that's a scene that is there.
Oh, it's the pooch.
Oh, he just makes an appearance.
Oh, he's so precious. So precious. Jeanette, how did it hold up for you? I know you kind of touched on it and how you conflated with Into the Woods, but
yeah, I think I just did that. I had done that in my head, and I was like, okay, well, that's fine. I'll just focus on Kate Blanchett, because these girls that play the sisters are like not it. like I was just very not into them, and they did not grasp my attention. Their costumes were more attention grabbing than them. I felt like all of their dresses were wearing them. I don't know what these actresses have done since then. Probably done some great things. I don't know, but yeah, they didn't hold up. One thing that did stay the same for me through every rewatch is that this prince is extremely underwhelming. I don't know who this guy. I don't know who this guy is, but I do
Rob
not
Stark?
like him.
Is it
he the
because
Game of Thrones guy?
is it because of the clean shave?
I didn't watch Game of Thrones. I don't know.
Oh, okay. There's
What?
2 Game of Thrones guys in this movie.
I
Wait, who's the second one?
The captain of the guard.
Oh,
uh,
Who's
right.
he in Game of
Yeah.
Thrones?
Stellan
was-
Skarsgård?
No, the black guy.
Oh.
He was a character
Oh.
in Game of Thrones called
Oh.
Zaro Zone Doxos in season 2.
He's great. I wish we would have had
Oh.
more of him. To be
He was
completely
good.
honest. On this rewatch, he actually stood out more. I was like, I like this guy. I want more of this guy. He was actually really funny. He was giving me like Robin Hood Men in Tights vibes. Like he could have given me more comedy. Like give me some comedy here. But no, yeah, I did this Prince every rewatch ever at my first watch. Now watch. This Prince, this happens a lot in the live actions. The princes are really, and this is what Into the Woods did better. The princes are really duds.
This
They're
guy's great though. Kit. He's an apprentice.
Good old
What's
Kit.
this name? What is this freaking name they chose too for this?
Kit. It's short
What
for
the
Christopher.
hell? People in movies under the age of 13 can be named Kit. No one, and Julia Roberts' best friend in Pretty Woman can be named Kit.
What about
That
the car?
is it.
What
That
about the
is
car
it.
from Knight Rider?
Sure. The car from Knight Rider, Julia Roberts' best friend in Pretty Woman, and children under the age of 13. Nobody else can be named Kit. I don't want it. I don't need it. Don't give it to me. What is this name? I don't like this. I don't like the prince. I don't like the sisters. I like Kate Blanchett. I like Lily James. I like Stellan Skarsgård. Give me a Skarsgård. Give me more Skarsgårds. Where were the Skarsgårds as the princes? Where is my Skarsgård prince? I want more Skarsgårds in live actions.
Skarsgård was actually my least favorite part of this movie. I thought I wanted more from him. I felt like he was just saying words.
That's fine. They're Skarsgårds. That's all they have to do.
So funny.
He was just,
Except Bill Skarsgård, who has to be
yeah,
Doug
yes,
Jones and Brad Pitt at the same time.
somehow.
I
It just
agree
makes-
that the sisters were
Mhm.
better in Into the Woods, like in terms of 2 stepsisters. But for Cinderella, I thought that they did a pretty good Anastasia and Drusilla.
They were okay. Yeah, they held up Lily James. They definitely held her up. They were literally the definition of supporting actresses. Like,
Yeah.
but also the thing that stood out the most to me on this rewatch was, I guess I'd never. So I don't want to say I never thought of it before. When I first saw it, it was one of the things I liked about it the most.
Mhm.
Now on this rewatch, it's almost stark in contrast to what they've done with their live actions now. It has no musical numbers.
I
in it.
know.
Like the
Mm.
Disney animated film has more music in it than this one.
Oh yeah.
And it's really, really stark on this rewatch
Mm.
only because of the hindsight of all of these live actions they've done now.
Mhm.
When I first saw it, I appreciated that. I thought it really grounded it. And if
Yeah.
that's where we had kept going with the live actions, it wouldn't stand out, right? Like I'd be like, fine. And I guess that's why maybe I'm realizing that's why I don't really like these other live actions. I'm like, I want something different than the animated film, but
Yeah.
I don't want Aladdin. I don't want you to rewrite the freaking story. Like,
Right.
please don't do that. But like, also don't be Lion King. Don't just give me the same thing
The same movie.
in a
yeah.
different, like, I don't
Yeah.
know. I want this happy medium. And this to me was the happy medium. It
Mhm.
stood out, but it didn't make me upset. I didn't miss the music. I wasn't like, where's my song? I think the only song I really missed was Bibbidi Bobbidi Boo. I could have taken Helena Bonham Carter, like giving me more, but fine.
I actually the music part was another one that it stood out to me that I agree with you that at the time it made sense, but then now since they've done them, but then there was a part where at the end where she's singing the song and that's what gets it, and she's like lavender blue, lavender green, and I was like, oh, that would have been such a good place for a
Also,
dream.
why wasn't that? Yes,
Mm.
exactly. Why wasn't that a dream is a wish your heart? I'm like, why are we making this new song? It's not a new song.
Yeah.
It was a song that existed that was not in this movie. You
Yeah.
didn't even make a new song to put in this movie. You took a song that existed and put. I was
Yeah,
like,
it was
why?
like from,
We had a beautiful song.
Summer Magic, or it was a
Yes. Yes.
it was a Burl Ives or
Yes.
No way.
Yeah.
Burl Ives.
Yeah.
yeah.
Yeah, it's like a live action Disney film from like the 60s or something. And it's like,
Yeah.
why did you do this?
It's not the
rare-
same melody though, is it? Is it? Isn't that one like lavender,
Lavender blue,
Dilly,
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 dilly.
lavender green?
Yeah.
So hang on. He did this song and Silver and Gold. Did he only sing about colors?
Yes, and precious metals.
Yeah.
That was his hit.
But yeah, like I was like, where? I don't know. Like I'm still not upset about the lack of music. I think this is the direction they should have gone in for all of the movies.
Yeah.
Except for Tangled. And then we were gonna get it, and no, we're not. I'm like,
yeah,
why? But yeah, so that was the thing those were the things that stood out the most.
Yeah, I think with regard to the music, that was, I don't know, I feel like I had the opposite experience where it was more jarring to me on the initial watch, like when it first came out, that like I think I knew going in that it wasn't a musical, and that didn't sit totally well with me, but like rewatching it now, I'm all for it, especially with the retrospective what has come after it. I think the reason that this movie works so well is because, and very likely, I don't know, maybe it's because it was the first one and the expectations were different, but whatever the reasons, I think the reason that this movie works as well as it does for me is because it's really in no way tied to the animated film. Outside of some names and like a few aesthetic things, like the dress being blue, for example, like this is just very much a Disney produced live action film based on Cinderella, the story. Whereas I think the direction that we went on with all the other films was that they were adaptations of Disney's movies specifically, as opposed to like, here's the source material. And it became a lot more evident that it was a money-making scheme based on novelty versus like, let's just make a well-crafted movie based on this property that also made a really great animated movie. And I feel like maybe there's a bit of a disadvantage with the other films because like there's a universality to Cinderella that we've discussed, like with it just being as old and as relatable of a story as it is. Like, I don't know that you could make an Aladdin movie or a Beauty and the Beast or a Snow White movie in the same vein where the narrative is strong enough to support itself without the Disney elements.
Yeah, I can see what you're saying.
Yeah, I guess without getting too serious. Yeah.
I think Aladdin could have stood on its own 2 feet.
That's what I was thinking. I'm like, I think Aladdin's a deep enough.
But here's the problem. If you put out an Aladdin without the Robin Williams style genie, and just making him Will Smith, I don't know, you'd still have people wanting a blue genie.
Oh yeah.
So I don't know.
Yeah.
It's a
but
tough
but then you get the blue genie and it's just weird because it's like it's not Robin Williams and it's just Will Smith.
Yeah.
That's why all these remakes are so weird. But I think this one worked because like the source material, the animated film, there's so little to it because as we kind of discussed, as beautiful a movie as it is, like it's basically just about the animals and the humans are just kind of footnotes. Whereas there was so much more to elaborate on here instead of having to hit certain beats the same way that you have to with other movies that like have more of a conventional narrative structure, like the Disney Renaissance films, for example. But I didn't mind the lack of music for that reason, but then I also really was attuned to how beautiful I think the score is. Just like the underscoring in this movie, I think is absolutely gorgeous, especially the scene when she gets out of the carriage, which That scene is maybe my favorite scene in the whole movie. Like when she gets there, and then with Mr. Lizard, he's like, "I'm not really a lizard. Enjoy it while it lasts." Like it's just so beautiful. And I want to talk about Lily James because I think Lily James is just incredible. What's that?
Did Vince give his first? Oh, he did. Yeah, he already gave his.
How did it hold up?
Or how it holds up?
A little bit. Look, I just I think the movie was good. You know, I was worried actually that there was going to be singing, and it was kind of a nice surprise that there wasn't. I think because I'm like kind of tainted or jaded by the modern, like you said, regurgitations of the old Disney classics. But look, I don't know. At some points, I found myself checking my phone. I realized I'm not the target audience here. The only Cinderella I've ever seen was the original Disney, and then I've seen Into the Woods live, which had great Cinderella content. I saw the Russell Crowe Cinderella, but that was about boxing.
Yeah.
And I thought this was good. Oh, they set me up though, because when they had Rob Stark training with a sword, I'm like, oh, there's gonna be a sword fight by the end of this. He's gonna fight like Kate Blanchett or something. Yeah. And I don't know, maybe Skarsgård. He could have fought Skarsgård. Yeah. That guy was clearly a traitor. I'm a little Skarsgård got too good of an ending, I think. He just got to go.
They all do.
Marry Kate Blanchett and skip town.
I think Disney didn't know. I think Disney didn't know how to handle killing people in live action at this point in the new era.
Yeah,
they didn't know how to deal with that. They were like,
well, yeah, but the only person they kill in the first one is Lucifer. So there was no expectation here for any of them to die.
Oh, I loved the cat Lucifer though. There should have been more cat. Should have been more mouses. Yeah. I remember there being so much cat and mouse stuff in the original Cinderella.
Can we like lightly touch on that, like about how they handled the animals? This is what I'm talking about. Like they just let the animals be animals in this one, and that made me happy. I actually, again, I was kind of happy that like this wasn't a thing where there was a bunch of animal stuff, because like I'm like, that's animation. Yeah. Although they did use a real cat in this, which was nice, because they wouldn't nowadays. They'd probably make a CGI cat. So like, I was happy that the animals got to be animals.
And I love how they explained it, like that how Cinderella was able to talk to the mice was because she had this kind of magic, and her mother explained to her that she had that kind of magic in her, and that she could, she believed that she could listen to the animals. And I thought that was a perfect way of making it so that we didn't actually have to hear them, but that she did speak to them.
Yeah, like it was just enough. It was just enough.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah. And I think almost to that point, a thing that I really appreciated was that the movie isn't overly magical until like the one scene where there is literal magic, but then otherwise it kind of the same as we discussed with the animated Cinderella movie a few weeks ago. Like it is very grounded in reality, and then you get like a little touch of magic, but otherwise it's just like you're engaged just by merit of the characters and the story, which that's why Cinderella's so good. It's all you need. But Lily James. How does everyone feel about Lily? The first on-screen live-action Disney princess that mattered, because I don't count Elle Fanning as Aurora. It's like, why would you?
Lily James was good. She kept my attention. Very expressive. She really sold the kindness. That's very important in Cinderella. And the courage. When she said she forgived someone, I really believed her. But it wasn't too much, because if it's too much, she seems stupid. So I did not get stupid vibes from her. She just seemed like an intelligent person who's trapped, like almost imprisoned by her own kindness. A tragic kindness, I found. And Lily James did a good job.
I think we call that tragic kindness altruism. And And that's what it is. But because we're in today's world, it's tragic. Altruism doesn't have to be tragic. It just usually is. So I feel like she's really altruistic. However, I do feel like she does occasionally fall into this. I want to find a better word than bimbo, but like she occasionally falls into like this. The whole time she's able to deliver a believable script in this very breathless voice. Like she really has this whole breathless thing down.
Yeah.
And at times it's a bit much, but it's only at the times where she's supposed to literally be breathless. So it's like double breathlessness, which I mean, she's just trying to give us what we expect from a princess. And at the beginning of the live action of Disney films, where you're trying to impersonate a 1950 Disney princess, where they literally sounded breathless because they were wearing freaking corsets and stuff, like girders, and like like they're literally breathless. So like, yeah, I think Lily James and Cate Blanchett are the highlights of this film. Like they are and Helena Bonham Carter. I know she's only in it for like 4 minutes, but so I'm always going to stand Helena Bonham Carter. But yes, Lily James is always a consummate actress in whatever she's in my opinion.
Agreed. Lauren, how do you feel about Lily?
I'm not actually as familiar with her. Like I know I've seen things with her, but there's nothing that like jumps out.
You didn't see Mamma Mia? Here we go again.
Oh yeah,
that was her.
Right. I did see that. Yeah, I did.
He goes, "Oh, you're right. I did see that."
But anyway, the point is that I thought that when they first said that she was going to play the role. Just based on her eyebrows, I didn't think that it would work. I don't know why.
Her eyebrows do stand out in a couple of scenes to me.
Yeah.
And I don't know if either she got a tan, she got paler, or if they accidentally lightened her hair. But they should have lightened her eyebrows by about like 2 hues.
Yeah.
No,
but
it's all the cinders in her eyebrows.
Also, no. But can I tell you, it was also very in. If you go back, like literally, if you're a girl on TikTok right now, there are videos about comparing eyebrows, like the eyebrow trends of 2016, which I never followed. I'm obviously an early 2000s girl who has overplucked her eyebrows to death. But like there is a trend in the year 2016, like 2013 to 2017, of girls overdrawing their eyebrows like to a really high degree. So I think that they were going light in this movie for the time period. Because it was very in to be like, it was very Sharpie eyebrows. Yeah, so I don't know. It might have just been a product of its own time, but I did notice it because I'm with you. I come from a time period when eyebrows on women were like, they need to be thin.
And I don't know why I thought that she's never going to be able to hold this film because of her eyebrows, but I did at the time. But I thought that she was and is just. She was perfect for the role. I mean, she had this kind of bubbly effervescence to her that really stood out. She wasn't overly obnoxious as a princess. She was just perfect as a princess. And again, the way that she looked in the in the ballroom scene, and like I agree with you about her coming out of the carriage and just the way that just the way that it looked, it just really like pops out at you. I thought that she did a good job.
Yeah, I really think if it weren't for her, this would not be a good movie. Or I think there are very few actors that can make this movie work as well as she did. Like Emma Watson, I believe, was offered this first, like potentially out of everybody, but definitely before Lily James. And she said no because she, didn't care for Cinderella on paper as like the passive princess who like waits to get saved and gets magic and all the things. And then that's why she gravitated more towards Belle. which is an interesting discussion in and of itself.
Yeah.
But I think like what Lily just brings to this is such a well thought out, layered performance of like a very like she just feels like such a real person that you kind of understand why her Cinderella is doing the things that she's doing. You understand why potentially she's putting up with the things that she's putting up with. And yeah, like just her coming out of the carriage is just always going to stand out to me as the, like, if there were to be one scene where I articulate like why I think she's so good as Cinderella, I feel like it's that. Because when you compare all the Cinderella movies, like that's a scene that you get in pretty well all of them, like her walking from carriage into the ball. But Lily to me is the only one who actually fleshes it out with like the entire emotional experience, like just kind of on her face is basically like a 3-act play of like, here's the fear, here's the empowerment, here's the excitement, and like there's just so much going on, and it is so beautiful. And I feel like she just layers that in to pretty well everything that she does in this movie. Like I think she elevates the character as someone who on paper is not that interesting and is kind of borderline, I don't want to say problematic, but like outdated.
Yeah, just like kind of 2D. It could be very 2D if you didn't, not like if you didn't give yourself to it a little bit more.
Yeah.
Yeah, and she does. And like her up against Kate, I think that's my favorite scene, the last one where Kate has the slipper and we ultimately just like get the showdown between the two of them.
Yeah.
Because there's always going to be something really good about having two equally competent actors going head to head. And even though it's mostly Kate, like that scene works just because of how engaged she is in listening to her.
Well, and do you like how they turned Kate into that scene from the animated film? Like,
where she
comes out of the darkness.
Oh my gosh.
And it's like just the light around her face, like Lady Tremaine. Yeah.
It's perfect. It's perfect.
Yeah.
And we could talk about Kate, but like Kate is great, and we know that. And we know that Kate did this role well. But again, if we go back to what we were talking about with the fashion, how the cinematography and the shooting of the stepmother character really contributes to the overall tone of the stepmother character. Like, I don't think that character is the same without everything they did to set her up artistically.
Yeah. They managed to capture the essence of the animated Lady Tremaine. In terms of like the cinematography and the way that they just framed her face and the lighting and all of that, which really contributes to the animated version as well. I thought that she really captured that character,
but without looking a thing like her. Like, they didn't duplicate anything. And I thought that was the other thing we noticed in all of this. They didn't duplicate Cinderella's hairstyle. She didn't have the same hairstyle at all. It was not up in that little thing up here. It was, there were some curls, there were some down. The butterflies, where did that come from? Like, there was just a lot of originality in this film that I don't get from almost any other live action film that they've given us.
That is so true, though.
Yeah.
Is that because of Kenneth Branagh, or like
I feel like it is.
Yeah.
Who knows?
Was it the success of this film that made him able to do his whole Agatha Christie thing? Because I know that trilogy started a few years after this came out. I've noticed that if you direct a very successful film for Disney, then they give you a ton of money to like do your real artistic.
This is true. Yeah. You're not wrong about that. So probably.
I wouldn't be surprised. But no, I definitely think it's Kenneth Branagh. Like, again, I think the reason that this movie works so well is because it almost feels like the producers were less hands-on with it. Like, that's just me making an assumption based on all the other movies. It definitely feels like they had trust in Kenneth Branagh to deliver the Kenneth Branagh Cinderella movie, which he absolutely did. I think that's why it works, because you have this guy who is like who's built his career basically on making classical theater and Shakespeare accessible to modern audiences. So he's familiar with the depth that exists within text work and within directing actors. But then he's also like familiar with just grandeur and like classical settings. And it's just
Well,
kind
and
of,
I don't think he's ever been prior to this. He'd never been released this way with this kind of budget, right? Like, I don't feel like
Hamlet, I think, had a budget close to this. Would be my
Okay.
assumption. Because Hamlet was
like
massive. But yeah.
there's so much more fairy tale element to this, and like I feel like there's so much more opportunity for grandeur,
Mhm.
and I just don't feel like he'd been given this kind of like, you can do this, and he's like, oh, okay, like, you know, like really being able to bring that all the way
Actually,
to fruition.
Thor.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
Oh,
that
Thor was before
Yeah.
this, huh?
Oh, was
Yeah.
Thor before this?
Oh, yeah.
2014.
Yeah, Thor.
Oh, so
was
then
well
Thor
before
got him this.
Yeah.
That makes sense.
Yeah.
That
Thor
makes
was like what, 2010?
Yeah, like around that, a couple years after Iron Man. Iron Man
2011?
was,
Yeah, because Iron Man was 2009.
yeah.
The
I
world
wanna
was
say
really
it's a
great
four-
in
it was a fourth
2009. We got
film.
RuPaul's Drag Race and Iron Man. Really awesome. I'm just saying, 2009 was super cool.
That's where it was at.
But yeah, I think Thor, what was it, 2010, 2011?
Probably
Yeah.
2011, I think, in 2011.
Yeah. So, yeah, I mean, I guess, yeah, okay. Well, in that case, yeah, no, Thor's, I mean, if I had to pick a favorite film of his, then it's probably Thor. I didn't even remember that he did that. So, yeah. But yeah, no, I mean, I think that this is really a showcase of what he wants to do, what he envisions. Like, we can kind of see it. I don't know.
Yeah,
I
think.
also think. Oh, go ahead.
Oh no, I was just gonna say, I think he's such a good filmmaker, which I forget because, like as I've said many times, I don't like his Shakespeare movies, which I don't understand why I don't, but I really love his
They're
non-Shakespeare.
very campy.
I think that's what it is. The Shakespeare movies are so.
I like it because they're campy, but also they're very
Yeah,
campy.
me too.
Yeah.
Me too. I love them because they're campy. The other thing about the reason why I think this film was the way that it was without the music was because they were able to that this was when they were still pioneering it, and Maleficent did well, and that was in the musical and all of that. And then after that, people started like getting really angry about there not being music in the remakes. Like
Yeah.
Mulan, I remember there was a big thing about like why doesn't Mulan, like I can't believe Mulan isn't going to have any music in it. And the thing is that the
Which
movie
Mulan had like the most controversial music ever, and they were just, those same people were complaining about those songs like 5 years before that. So
yeah.
I feel like if they squeezed in "Make a Man Out of You," they would have gotten away with that.
I just wanted a
Yeah,
training
for sure.
montage, just to like an instrumental of that.
Yeah.
song. That's all I want.
They did use the music like as the score. They did
Okay.
incorporate the
little bit,
music
yeah.
into the score, but
And
they didn't use the actual.
Didn't Jackie
but it
Chan
wouldn't have
sing
worked
"Make a Man
for
Out
the
of You"
film
for the
that they
credits,
did.
but like in Mandarin? I feel
What?
like that's
Really?
I think Jackie Chan did a cover.
that
of
almost
Almost
feels
Human.
more mocking than not including people of that. Like, that feels like worse somehow.
I mean, he is a singer, apparently. Like Jackie Chan
Yeah.
can.
Yeah, I don't know. Maybe
I
it's-
believe that he did. I believe
Voice
you're
of an
right.
angel.
Yeah, there we are. I had something else I wanted to say about Cinderella. Going back. Oh, wait, costumes? Maybe.
Sorry,
oh, I mean, we kind of touched on the costumes, right? Like,
Oh,
they're
I remember.
they're
Yeah,
all over the place.
I was gonna say, just to your point, Jeanette, I think that's another thing that I really appreciate about this movie is, or maybe it's something that Lauren said, just all the elements are so cohesive. Like they all work together so beautifully well. Like specifically just seeing the dress move during the dance scene. Like
Mhm.
it's a costume that was designed to move.
Yeah.
Knowing that the most important scene would be when she's dancing. And I just feel like that's a cohesion between departments like cinematography, costume design, production design, that you don't necessarily, like you always want to have, but you don't always see working as well as you see with this film.
Yeah, I will say in this rewatch, I couldn't decide if it was the lighting, the CGI, or the overall just literal cohesion of all the departments, because everything looked like it went together, even though, again, I was like, what the hell are these? Like, on this rewatch, I was really like, what is this butterfly storyline? I don't get. And I did remember my daughter, like I said, my daughter was 3, like the year that this would have come out. And where she would have been 2 and some change for most of the year, is that there was a lot of butterfly merchandise. And I'm like, what is this butterfly storyline? But again, somehow it made sense. It looked beautiful. It fit fine. Like, fine, whatever. And like everything, even the 1940s, 1960s, and somehow period piece costumes all really looked fine. The color palette meshed well together. And they went with gold, which I thought was an interesting choice, because I don't peg gold as the Cinderella color. Cinderella to me is a very like platinum colored princess. Like definitely. She's like silvers and blues and whites and grays and all of that, like not gold. And they went with gold, yet somehow it fits fine. It looks great. Like they really did do a wonderful job of making everything look really cohesive.
I think it was like a cohesion of departments, because again, the dress against the set design, I mean, like, just magical. It was magical.
Yeah. And I mean, I think going back to Cate Blanchett, I feel like they say so often in interviews about how great she is to work with, like from a costume designer perspective. Apparently she's really collaborative, and like that's a big in for her as an actor, is the costumes. And I just feel like this is a project where that blossomed. Like, I think everything that worked so well with her with respect to the costumes, like I definitely feel like it was a collaboration between her and Sandy. And like you could just see, like, she knows how to wear a dress. Like, she's just constantly like posing in absolutely perfect ways to show off everything. It's like, this is it's so good. It's so good. What else did I want to say? Oh yeah, and sort of to the point of Kate, and I'll bring it back to one of my favorite scenes, the attic scene, where it's like, I have the slipper, I'm going to break it. One thing that I got out of this rewatch that I really appreciated was understanding that really this movie's take is showing us 2 very similar people who've made very different decisions as to how they're dealing with grief and trauma. Because I think this movie is definitely like giving us reason to believe that, not to say the stepmother is justified in why she's as horrible as she is, but to not discount how like horrible in some ways her life has been. But I feel like there's so much, like, it's such a well-written scene there where we have the 2 of them face to face, and you ultimately see, like, you can choose to process grief and trauma in a way that turns you into a hurtful person, or you can work through it and have courage and be kind, which that was a thing that really annoyed me on my first viewing, and even this one as well. I feel like they hit you over the head a little too hard with that.
It's a little, so in hindsight, just as a woman, like now, post, like everything in the world, the whole have courage and be kind thing sounds a little like sit down and shut the up. And so, like, yeah, it's a little much. And I also just feel, I don't know if anybody's seen on Netflix the documentary Keep Sweet and Obey, or Keep Sweet and Pray, or whatever, about the Mormons. And it just sounded very like that, and the Warren Jeffs directive of I was like, yeah, that really stood out on this watch. But I did decide overall that in general, maybe not the whole like have courage thing, fine, sure, whatever, but the be kind thing is very Cinderella, because I feel like watching the original Disney animated film, that could have easily turned into Home Alone, like real quick. Like, these people are pissing me off and I am done with this BS. Or you can just decide to be a nice person until karma finds you. I find Cinderella to be extremely karmic, and I thought this film did a great job with that. And I feel like have courage and be kind is just kind of a really like asshat way of saying, you know, observe karma, you know?
Yeah, I really love the courage of. I bought into that, and I still buy into that whole thing, the courage and be kind thing. I just thought that that was such a, just such a way of like, why did she have a fairy godmother? Because she was had the. I mean, I agree. Maybe not so much the courage, but the kindness thing. That's why she ultimately had the fairy godmother, was because she was kind to that old woman, which I thought was kind of a nice way of, like, again, showing that she's so kind that she
Yeah.
deserves that kind of,
Yeah.
treatment.
Yeah, like it has this kind of obnoxious Pollyanna optimism to it, but
Yeah.
I also
See,
feel
I
like,
love Pollyanna. So,
well, I guess this is the thing. I'm so naturally jaded to be adverse to that, but the way it's portrayed in this movie, it always, every time
That's
she
the
has so many-
90s in us, Matt. I don't know if
that's
you've realized that
definitely-
yet in hindsight, but like between Vince and Lauren, it's the thing we have in common that they don't.
That's
And
true.
it's the 90s in our little preteen hearts, like just like
That's exactly.
be cynical. Be cynical.
Yeah,
all
and I
the
feel like I think that's
Like-
why Cinderella is such an interesting character for such a, like, someone who's so naturally inclined to cynicism like me. Lily James's Cinderella specifically has so many moments that I feel are beautiful, where you see her choosing kindness and letting that coexist with her own pain. Like when she says that was probably very hard for you when the guy tells her dad is dead. Like, I love
Yeah.
that moment. And this was something that I noticed on this rewatch as well, is that, like, we know the king is dying, and so the fact that she gets just like a few seconds with her, like, future father-in-law, where like they have a real connection, like, I think that moment
Yeah.
is so
Yeah.
beautiful. Like, you
Yeah.
absolutely see him like won over on her in that moment, and just for her to say, like, you've raised such a, like, wonderful son, you need to know how much he loves you. I'm like,
Yeah.
yes, be kind. Like,
I will say that last moment though with Kate Blanchett when she turns around, see, like it goes from an extreme to an extreme for me. Like those are really like low moments she's having. She lets herself be kind in those moments. That's low for her. Then she's having a really high moment, and she turns around and goes, "I forgive you." Like it freaking matters now, girl. Like you hold all the cards. Now you're just being a bee. Like by turning around and going, I forgive you. Like it doesn't matter if you forgive her or not. Nobody cares
Oh my
other
god!
than her.
oh yeah.
And like, I don't know. I was just like, now that actually sounds a little freaking like haughty and like stuck up. Like,
Well, I actually
by
wonder,
the
like,
way,
I feel like that moment's not necessarily meant to be taken at face value of, like, her embracing the Pollyanna quality of, like, all is well. It almost feels like that's her little twist the knife moment of, I know
yeah,
how difficult
exactly.
this is for
That
you
was
right now.
shady AF. Like,
Yeah.
that
It's
was
shady
some
while still
serious-
sticking to her principles. Like, it's great.
It was like Cinderella Untucked. It was like, hello, yeah, just like what? Like we didn't need that, but we got that. It was,
Yes.
it was good.
Oh, and actually, since we are kind of talking about the end, I'm curious to hear everyone's thoughts on the scene that still doesn't sit well with me. The fact that she, like, just allows herself to be okay with being locked in the attic, and specifically the narration.
Oh, you're calling that the end?
Well, like the last-ish scene.
I thought you meant the fact that there were about 3,000 live flowers, but it's snowing outside. That end.
Yes, it's true. That was the other thing. I've never noticed that. That's
It's
That really,
magic.
that really bothered me on this one. I was like,
It's
that?
magic.
it is. It's not it's very common. It's just
anyway,
very
yeah, she's trapped in the thing. And
Yeah,
then she's
trapped it.
just
How,
like,
how does everyone
time
feel
to
about,
sing
like,
with my mice.
why didn't she just open the window and scream, "Help, I'm locked in the attic"?
I
Like,
know.
In the animated film, there is the music when she gets locked in there. It immediately the score goes. It's like,
exactly.
it's frantic. It's scary. And then like they cut downstairs and it's Lady Tremaine like looking upstairs, making sure she's still locked, and then looking down at the print. Like It's very dramatic. And then in this
Yeah.
one, it's just like, yeah, like music. Now we get the music. Now we get Lavender's Blue Dilly Dilly. Like, what?
Yeah, like she's given up. And that's the thing that I can't like. That's the main reason that I can't love this movie as much as I want to, is that I don't know what I would want otherwise, but not that. There's a passivity to her that doesn't work for me in relation to, like, as opposed to the passivity that sort of makes sense to me in the context of her character and what she's been through. Like, that almost feels like the movie preaching a message that I don't love.
See, I don't know. This is the way that I took it, is that Lady Tremaine says to her all those things, and she's like basically saddled with this child, and kind of explains to her how she does, she doesn't love her or anything like that. And I think that Cinderella had, through the movie, kind of kept in her head that maybe she could love her, and I think that in that moment where she tells her that, I didn't love you, I don't love you, I didn't love you, that I think she just gave up. I think she gave up in that moment. I thought, to me, it was a human thing, to like just be so like, my life has been totally, I'm trying to think of a better word than the word that is coming into my head, but you know what I'm trying to say. Her life has just been totally downtrodden, but she's had this kind of, that's where the courage comes in. She's had the courage to face her life in a way. You know what I mean? And in that moment, I think when the stepmother just told her that she just does not like her, I think that that's when she really kind of gave up.
Yeah, I don't know. By that point of the movie, I was just glad they were like they were getting close to wrapping it up. I think they could have shaved off the whole subplot with Skarsgård conspiring against the family.
Yeah.
I know I mentioned this earlier. If they shaved that off, it would have been 15 minutes lighter, and by the time we get to this point of the movie, we're a more forgiving audience, I think.
Yeah.
You
know what they were filling that in, what storyline they were filling in with that was they made the king more of an acceptable character. He wasn't as much of a weirdo as he is in the animated film.
Right.
But then they like created this new guard character, which I agree. Like, I love Stellan Skarsgård, but we really didn't need that character.
Yeah. I think he was almost just there as a device to have some kind of resolution for the stepmother. Like, she has to go somewhere. So
well, we have to see her be more evil, right? Like, he creates that element, like in Ever After, where she's selling her to the guy. Like, he creates that person to like make her more evil. Otherwise, what you have to do is you have to make her like physically abusive, and nobody really wants to do that. Nobody wants to do that in a movie. So they're like, how do we make her more evil?
You know how they would have done it today is that when she turns around and says, I forgive you, then Cinderella would have pushed her out of the window.
Well, I have a dark storyline on this. I'll give either now or later, whatever.
Let's go.
You want a dark fact about this film?
Yeah. This film specifically?
Cinderella 2015.
Okay.
This movie, is everybody familiar with who Gypsy Rose Blanchard is?
Oh, yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Yes. Okay. So this was the movie, Gypsy Rose Blanchard. Do you know who that is?
Yeah.
Okay. So this was the movie that she met up with the guy that would eventually be the gentleman, but the guy that did the deed. This is the film. This is where they met. was this movie. They met up at this movie, and she was in like princess cosplay.
Oh, so it's a good first date movie.
Yeah, and if you would like to go further down the rabbit hole of what actually occurred at this film, you should look it up, because there were some things that happened literally in the theater at this film between them two. That is a deeper storyline, but yes, this film is a note in true crime history as far as the timeline of events in that.
Love it.
Cool.
Yeah. Little did you know, for Cinderella 2015.
Immortalized by the crimes of Gypsy.
Yes.
I don't really know the crimes of Gypsy. I just know the name by reputation.
And hey, she's on social media. Shout out Gypsy.
Maybe she's one of the people watching right now.
Hey.
I've been following you for years.
Oh, right. There's not a ton to it. I just really like when Cate Blanchett is flirting with the Skarsgård. He's like, "Are you threatening me?" Yes. Yes.
Watching Cate Blanchett flirt is pretty awesome, because she's usually just being a badass, and I think that's why I like The Aviator so much, honestly.
How much is she in The Aviator?
A lot.
Oh yeah,
a lot. The Aviator is one of my favorite movies ever.
We do love Katharine Hepburn.
Yes.
Yes. All right. Anything else we want to say about this movie before we go into the game?
Yeah.
Let's go.
There was a bit of a throwaway scene that really made me laugh. We haven't talked about it, but it was with the painter.
Oh,
I thought that painter actor was really good, so I looked him up, and it turns out he's like a famous Welsh comedian. So, this was a pretty UK production.
Yeah.
I'm sure like there are a lot of people in the audience who were happy to see this Welsh comic.
Nice.
Even though, and he made me laugh. I forget what the joke was, but he said a few funny things. I think there was some physical comedy, and he was falling off his scaffold or something.
Yeah, he was on his swing, and he ended up on the floor.
Yeah, and the swing, I don't know what happened there. Did like Rob Stark steal it and bring it to a secret garden? Because that same swing was in the secret garden scene.
They probably like made more than one swing.
I guess.
They just had a really good wholesale
Yeah.
deal.
Also, what's up between this movie and Ever After? What's up with these princes having these like weird ruins areas? Like,
it's all they have. It's their man cave.
Like, what is it? And like, and I have this little like, it's almost a little creepy. It's almost very Ted Bundy-ish. Like, and then I have this abandoned place in the woods you should come to. Like, what? I don't understand.
And I just wanted to say that Helena Bonham Carter was not as obnoxious as I thought she was going to be.
I thought she was more obnoxious.
What?
I found her more obnoxious than I remember.
Stop it.
But see, that's the thing. Is like God love her, but I hate Helena Bonham Carter. After the Merchant Ivory films, like the Merchant Ivory films, wonderful.
What are the Merchant Ivory films?
Huh?
What are those?
Oh my God! You remember the Merchant Ivory films? Those were those period pieces back in the, I want to say, either late 80s or early 90s.
We're going way back.
Howard's End. God, I can't remember.
She must have been very young back then. Yeah.
She was in a Hamlet. She was the Mel Gibson Ophelia. That might fall into this category.
She was young. She was young back then. But yeah, she was. I mean, she used to be like really a big, serious actress back in that day, and I absolutely loved her. And then she married Tim Burton and just became a caricature of herself, and that's why I thought, oh my God, she's gonna do Beatrix Lestrange again in this film, but she managed to pull out something that was a little bit different than Beatrix Lestrange. I loved the part where I totally forgot about the part where she is an old woman when she first meets Cinderella, and that because Cinderella was kind to her, that she became the fair. revealed herself as a fairy godmother, and I thought that was a really nice piece. But yeah, I mean, Helena Bonham Carter, I'm not her hugest fan, so I apologize.
Did
if
you
I am
think that she
offending.
looked a little like Tracy Ullman when she was the old lady?
Oh
Yes.
my
Like she,
gosh.
she like
Yes,
Helena
yes,
Bonham Carter as an
yes.
old lady looks like Tracy Ullman. It's very strange.
Yeah.
It kind of threw me for a loop. Also, Helena Bonham Carter in what am I thinking of? Freaking her as the old lady also in Big Fish. She's done old lady
Oh yeah.
before in Big Fish too.
Ah.
I see what you're talking about with her. However, I loved her so much as the fairy godmother in this that honestly, I could have taken like a whole Drop Dead Fred style movie of like Cinderella and the fairy godmother.
Yeah.
I don't know if y'all know what I'm talking about, if anybody's seen Drop Dead Fred, but
That was an imaginary friend.
yeah, yeah, but he's like a lewd imaginary friend. And I could have taken a Helena Bonham Carter like fairy godmother like shtick movie. That would have made me happy. I thought that's how much I liked her. I was like, dang, I forgot how much I liked her as this.
Yeah, she was fine. She was there. It definitely,
Yeah.
it always to me feels like, even though Tim Burton had nothing to do with this movie, it feels like how she for a while would just end up in Tim Burton movies in roles that she like.
Maybe that's why they got divorced, because she was like, I can't live my life like that.
Maybe. I think also, but I think he cheated on her too, so it could have been that.
Oh no.
Yeah, with the
the
blonde
Beetlejuice
vampire.
chick.
Beetlejuice chick? No, it was before her.
Oh.
So in between Beetlejuice chick, who he's with now, and Helena, it was the lady who was the main vampire lady in Dark Shadows, and she was also the Miss Peregrine, the lady with the School for Peculiar Children.
Oh, the one that was in oh shit, was it
Dumbo.
Salem? Oh, I think she was in Salem too. Ava Green.
Yes, that's her.
Yes, she was in Salem. I watched it. That's what I loved her for a lot, but also
Yeah,
something
she's
prior
great.
to that too. She's
She's
done a million things. She's in a lot of horror.
I believe it.
And she also looks a hell of a lot like what's her face from Mars Attacks that he was with for years.
Lisa Marie.
Yeah, she looks a little bit like Lisa Marie.
Yeah, he has a type.
Thin. Like
Actually,
it's just kind of like very thin.
one of my classmates in film school pointed out that he dates women who look like his cartoons. Or who look like his illustrations.
Dead.
The hubris.
Just like
That's
the big
why
eyes.
I wanted to look like I was dead when I was a teenager. I was like, oh, that's what's attractive. Yeah. I was like, this is cool. Now I'm 37 and throwing myself into tanning beds. What have I done? I don't know.
All right. Time for the game. Here we go. So
Time.
tonight's game is all based on live action remakes. Disney live action remakes.
So do we need paper?
No, you're gonna shout out the answer.
Oh, sweet.
Kristen's chiming in. To think I lived here.
Yeah, Beetlejuice lady. Sorry, totally. Like, don't even. What was she in prior to that? Because I know everybody knows her from something. Like, I don't know.
Last Tango in Paris.
That's it.
Yeah.
So how tonight's game
I don't
is
go to
going
Paris
work.
nor Tango. I didn't know.
You're missing out.
It's never too late.
It's never too late.
But everybody needs to look up Merchant Ivory films of the late 80s to early 90s.
Was it a BBC thing?
No, it was its own company, and it was just like Kenneth Branagh and Emma Thompson were in.
Oh, okay. I get the vibe.
That cohort.
I get the vibe now. Yeah.
Oh yeah, Kenneth Branagh was like with Emma Thompson, and then he cheated on her with Helena Bonham Carter.
Wow.
I did not know that.
Yeah.
Whoa,
So that's just the chickens coming home to roost.
Yeah.
Yeah, but Emma and Helena are on like good terms now. So
good.
It's
This is
Hollywood.
like
What are you gonna do?
this is the
Please.
love triangle tea that I find interesting. Is like
Yeah.
What do Tim Burton and Kenneth Branagh have in common?
that should have been the game. Okay. So for tonight's game, you just have to shout out the answer. It is
Okay.
all based on Disney live action remakes, and I'm looking for the name. So for each question, the answer is the name of an actor. So I'm going to give you a clue as to an actor who has played a leading role or a supporting role in a Disney live action remake. If
Okay.
you are able to shout out the correct name with the first clue, you'll get 3 points. If it takes 2 clues, 2 points. 3 clues, only 1 point. The third clue will always be the name of the character they played in the Disney live action remake.
Okay.
There we go. Yep. And you only get to shout out an answer once per question / per round.
Oh.
Okay.
Okay.
Yeah. So here we go. Here we go. Now, the other clues, more often than not, they are other characters that this person has played in other films, but sometimes they'll just be like keywords and like there's no consistent through line really. So
Okay. We'll know it when we hear it.
yeah.
Basically.
So here we go. The first one. Your first clue. Meg March.
What the hell? Meg. I need to call in a lifeline.
Yeah.
Shall we move on to the second clue?
Yeah.
Wallflower.
Wallflowers. God.
Wallflower.
Wallflower.
Phone a friend.
No. Third clue.
Sure.
She played Belle.
Hermione. Oh, Emma
Oh,
Watson.
Yes, Emma Watson.
I
There we
almost said
go.
Emma Thompson, and I couldn't think of her actual last name.
I
Vince,
put
you got a
I put
point.
Emma Thompson in your
Okay.
mind. That's why.
Yeah, so she played Meg March in the Little Women movie.
Oh.
Oh, okay. Now I see how we're playing.
It would help if I'd ever watched a Little Women movie.
And then she was in and produced Perks of Being a Wallflower, and then she was Belle.
Oh,
All
yeah.
Oh.
right, next. Charles Dickens.
Charles Dickens?
Charles Dickens.
What?
This is someone they played in another film, but it's not, okay, so here's what I was mistaken about. It's not necessarily someone that's in this movie, Cinderella. It's just
Oh, no, it's
any
all
Disney
Disney
live
live
I
action.
see what you're saying. I see
All
what you're
Disney live action.
All
Okay.
Disney live action. So
I keep
Charles
thinking
Dickens.
that you're saying the name of a actor for some reason. So anyway,
Wait. So the person you're talking about played Dickens.
Yeah.
Well, maybe they're related to Charles
Okay,
Dickens.
so they might have been in a Dickens production.
They could have, or maybe they played Charles Dickens.
Or they're a descendant of
What's that?
Charles Dickens.
I said Gonzo.
Gonzo? No. Lauren, you're out for this. No, that was a joke. Okay, next. Your second clue. Matthew Crawley.
Boy, you're
What was that? Somebody you went to high school with? I don't know who that is.
Do we want our final clue? They're Disney characters.
Crawley.
Yes.
The Beast.
Oh.
I still don't know. Austin Butler.
Nicholas Holt.
No, that's a good guess, but no.
He played Beast in something else.
I see what you were saying. What you're doing.
Kelsey Grammer.
No. Anyone?
No.
Kristen gets the point. It's Dan Stevens.
That's
So
a
he played
Oh.
Charles
lot.
Dickens in The Man Who Invented Christmas,
Oh.
Canadian co-production. He was also Matthew Crawley in Downton Abbey with Lily James.
Oh.
Beast. There we go. All right, next.
Okay.
I thought this game.
Kristen's gonna win this game, by
That's
the way.
right. I made this too easy. Okay,
Yeah,
next.
I think so.
Juliet.
Was Claire Danes in a Disney live action film? No. No, she wasn't. No. I don't know.
All right, your second clue. Lucy Gray.
That
Oh,
sounds
Snow
like
White,
an
Snow
adult.
White. Rachel Zegler.
Yes, Lauren, you did it. Rachel Zegler.
Oh,
I just got. I was like, oh, wait, Juliet. Then I remembered she played her on Broadway.
She did.
Yeah.
oh,
Yes.
okay.
All right, next. Golden Retriever puppies.
Were they an Air Bud?
Air Buddies?
It would be Air Buddies, but
Yeah, it would be Air
giving away
Buddies.
clues. Golden Retriever puppies.
Golden Retriever puppy.
They voiced puppies?
It's just that the clue is Golden Retriever puppies. Maybe they held a bunch of puppies. I don't know. Puppies.
It's not a good.
Movie.
It's not a good clue.
Did you say it's not a good clue?
It's not a good clue.
It is. When we get to the answer, you'll get it. Okay, second clue. Gilmore Girls.
Oh Lord.
Oh,
I'm out.
Melissa McCarthy.
Yes, Melissa McCarthy.
Oh, yeah.
I was like, oh, okay. There's the only one
What
that
do
I
the
can
puppies
think of.
have to do with anything?
Bridesmaid. She gets all the puppies from the shower.
Oh,
She's like, I might have overcommitted, and then she has all those cute puppies in the
I
car,
think
and
I'm
she's
the only
driving.
person alive that doesn't find that movie as fantastic as everybody
It's
else.
so good. It's the best movie of all time. Yeah, I do think Kristen is winning. Okay.
I do think Kristen's gonna win this game.
Next, Bella.
Bella.
Oh, Kristen Stewart.
No, you've been
I
eliminated.
was going to say Kristen Stewart.
She played Snow White, kinda.
She
right?
did. It's true. That was a good guess, but
Yeah,
no.
but the different.
All right, your second clue, Gwen Stacy.
Oh, what's her face?
Emma Stone?
Yes, Emma Stone. You did it, Vince.
Yeah, Emma
Oh,
Stone.
wow.
And who did she play in a Disney live action film?
Cruella.
Oh,
Oh, yeah.
Yes. Bella was from whatever it was called. Poor Things, Beautiful Poor
Yeah,
Creatures.
yeah.
Yes.
All right. Next. Oh, yeah, this first clue's not very good. I'll admit it for this
Oh,
next
my
one.
God.
Run.
Run.
Oh, Robin Wright.
Oh, you were so close, but no.
Oh,
Sorry,
really?
Vince, you've been eliminated.
Okay.
You were so close.
I want to know how close. Oh.
Very
Oh, shit. Okay. God damn. Sorry,
know?
I swore.
Do you know it now? Okay. Second clue.
Yeah.
Robert Langdon.
Yeah.
That name
God
sounds
damn it.
familiar.
Not a clue.
I thought we were only doing ladies.
I don't
No.
Yeah,
Yes, now, lady.
You want me to
Robert
say it? I
Langdon.
can
That
say
name
it.
sounds familiar.
Well, okay. Third clue. Geppetto.
Oh,
Oh,
that's
Tom
Tom Hanks.
Yeah. Okay. You both get a point.
Damn.
You were so close, Vince. You said the
Ah.
right movie.
Yeah. That clue wasn't as bad as you thought it was, eh?
I'm glad.
Yeah.
The clue was going to be Run Forest, but I was like, that's too easy.
Mm-hmm.
So, all right. Next, Agent J.
Oh, Will Smith.
Yes, Will Smith.
Oh, that's right. Yeah.
Here come the Men in Black. I just had to educate a young person at work the other day about what the Men in Black were.
How dare
Oh
they?
man.
Yeah, the other clues were going to be Richard Williams and Genie.
Oh, I didn't know what Richard Williams was, but okay.
That's the role he won the Oscar for, but that was, overshadowed by him slapping Chris Rock. So,
Yeah.
There you go. All right, next. This one might be hard. Ghosts. That's your first clue. Ghosts.
Oh, ghosts, not ghost, ghosts.
Ghost.
Either one.
All right. Well, I
Just
don't
the
think
idea
Demi
of
Moore, I
ghosts.
don't think Demi Moore's played in a Disney live action anyway, so it's okay.
This person was in a movie.
Tony Goldwyn.
What's that?
Tony Goldwyn.
No. I don't know who that is, but no.
Oh, actually, no. I'm totally.
And it's
getting-
not Nigel Downer, right? Because he's in Ghosts. It's not Nigel Downer.
I love Ghosts. I love Nigel. Do we want the second clue?
Yeah.
Groundhogs.
Bill
Is
Murray.
Bill Murray been in?
Yes.
Yeah, I know.
Bill Murray.
Oh, we both said it. We're like, "Is Bill Murray
Oh,
been?
Oh no, but
Bill
Lauren was
Murray,
eliminated, so you get the
I was
point.
like, who was Bill Murray in?
He's
Yeah, that's right.
Baloo.
Oh
He's
yeah.
my second favorite remake.
Okay.
Yeah,
I was
Bill
like,
Murray.
Bill Murray.
Bill Murray. All right. Next. Okay. Oh, this one's kind of a deep cut. So I don't know if very many people actually saw this Disney live action remake. But here we go.
I'm sure I'll get it wrong.
Watson.
What was it?
Watson.
Watson.
John C. Riley?
Did they remake The Great Mouse Detective?
No, they didn't.
That's next on the list.
Next.
Lucy Liu?
Dumbledore.
Oh,
Michael Gambon?
No, you've been eliminated.
no.
Lauren, it's only you
It's
now.
one of the other ones.
Oh, what's his name? Oh. Not
Would you like the last clue, Lauren?
I know Dumbledore, but I can't think of his name for some reason.
Might not be the Dumbledore you're thinking of.
Oh, okay.
A couple of them. Okay, your last clue is Captain Hook. Who played Captain Hook in the live action remake, the Disney live action remake?
Ooh.
Oh, Jude Law?
Yes, Jude Law.
Oh, yeah,
That's
he
right, because he
was.
was in Dumbledore in the. Yes, okay.
Yes.
Yes,
The
now I
Fantastic
know what you're talking
Beasts. All right, this is our last question of the regular round. Here we go. Your first clue is Mia.
about. Yeah.
Oh God, what the freak is her name? Why
Mia.
can't? Oh, why can't?
Mia.
Hold on, don't go. I can't. Why can't I think of her freaking name?
Listen,
Anne Hathaway.
Yes.
Oh, good one.
My God, what's the act? I kept wanting to say Mia Thermopolis. That's not. I can't just give you her name.
The second clue is going to be Fontaine. The third was White Queen.
White Queen.
All
I
right.
would have gotten it at White Queen.
So Jeanette, you have 9. Vince, you have 3.
No.
Lauren, you have 6. How many points do we all want to wager for the bonus round?
All
I
of them.
have 6?
Yeah, you have
How
6.
does Lauren only have 6?
I don't
feel like
know.
he has more.
I gotta bet it all. Let's do it.
Yeah, I'm going to bet it all.
Is it all okay? Jeanette?
Yeah, same.
Now, you will have to write down your answer for this so that we know no
Okay.
one's cheating, even though I trust all of you. Okay. So on the topic of Disney live action remakes, as far as I'm concerned, yeah. Well, there are kind of 2 correct answers, but like there's one that's more correct. So there it is. There's only one actor that has reprised their role in the live action remake from the animated film. And when I say there's 2 possible answers, Jim Cummings technically voiced Winnie the Pooh in the Christopher Robin movies, and he's like the Disney voice of Winnie the Pooh. So I don't count him. So Jim Cummings is not the answer. So not counting Jim Cummings, who is the one actor that reprised their role in the Disney live action remake that they voiced in the cartoon.
Oh, man.
And it's not Jim Cummings.
Oh, no. I feel like I
think
knew
who it is.
this.
Oh my God. I think I know who it is. Oh my God.
Wait. Okay, so in the remake,
why is my phone?
they reprised the role from the original.
Yeah.
Jeez.
I can just say the actor's name, right?
Yeah.
All right, I'm ready.
You're not going to get me on spelling, are you?
Oh, no.
Okay.
We'll start with Vince.
I'm going with Angela Lansbury, Mrs. Potts.
Okay. Lauren.
Oh,
Blank.
that's a good one.
Blank. I'm
Blank,
completely
okay.
blank.
Jeanette.
James Earl Jones.
That is correct.
Ah! Who'd they get for Mrs. Potts?
Emma Thompson.
Yeah.
The
Yeah,
movie
I was
movie.
like,
that
oh,
was it.
when you said it, Vince, I was like, oh crap, who did do Mrs. Potts? I didn't even know.
Yeah.
I was like, oh man.
That's right, James Earl Jones. Gosh darn it! I
Yeah.
lost from 6 points.
And I hate that movie. I hate the live action Lion King because it's not live action. 'Cause
I
it's
know.
not live-
That's what makes it even funnier.
It barely even counts as him reprising a role. They could have just used the same audio.
literally. It makes me so mad. Oh my
Although I
God.
do think he recorded everything fresh again, but still,
Yeah.
they could have just given him money and dug up the
Can I
archives
just
and alternate.
thank you for never doing that movie on this channel ever.
Yeah. Or no.
Can we not ever do that movie, please?
Yeah. Okay. What about Mufasa? Should we do Mufasa?
I haven't actually. I'm more inclined to like that one because it's an original story.
It's not a good original story.
I haven't seen it. I'm just saying I'm more inclined to like it because it's an original story.
I'm looking forward to the remake of Lion King 1.5.
See, I would be all on board.
Yes, but can we get the voice dubbing to match up with the freaking animation lips, please, on this one, please? Thank you. If we're gonna get Seth Rogen and pay for him, can we make it look right?
Imagine it. Here we go. I think that was for you winning, but also I'd like to imagine that she's on board with agreeing with you with everything you just said.
I wouldn't be too fast.
All right, there it is. Okay, that's Cinderella. Woo! We're back next week to discuss Cinderella. So excited.
Yeah.
Next week is my personal favorite Cinderella movie, even though I do love the one we discussed tonight. Like, for me, it's always going to be the one for next week, largely because of everything I said that annoys me about this film, with her just being okay with being locked in the attic. Next week's movie addresses that in a very poignant way, I feel, which one of the many reasons I love next week's movie. So yeah, next week, for those of you who are still with us, we're going to be discussing the classic made-for-TV 1997 Cinderella, starring Brandy, Whitney Houston, Whoopi Goldberg, Victor Garber, Bernadette Peters. It's just like an all-star cast. It's so Vince, you should watch it and come back.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I love Bernadette Peters.
You would love this. She's the stepmother, and she eats.
Oh, she does stepmother so well.
She does. She puts mother back into stepmother.
Yep.
She's
steps up.
A step above the rest. Yeah.
She is mother. Although, no, again, anyone that gets to play stepmother usually serves mother.
Yeah.
I think I'm using that term properly. I'm trying to be young. Anyway, there we go. It's that time, friends. Tell everyone who you are, where they can find you, and any closing thoughts you have on 2015 Cinderella. We'll start with Vince.
Yeah, I liked 2015 Cinderella, man. You ever want to watch Rob Stark marry for love and it doesn't all go to hell at the end? You should watch this. So I don't know, man. I liked it. I didn't think I was gonna like it, so I was pleasantly surprised. And yeah, hey, you should check it out if you haven't already. And you should subscribe to Matt's channel too, if you haven't already. And mine, and Lauren, and Jeanette. All subscribe to all of our channels, please. Okay. Have a good night, everyone.
Oh God. I loved Cinderella as well. I thought that it was equally as fun as it was before. And you can find me at Lauren's Toy Box on pretty much anything: Instagram, TikTok, Threads, Blue Sky, and Lemonade.
Woo!
Hello. Yeah, I'm blue because this dress was blue. I just thought it would be cool. So yeah, you can find me here next week. You can find me on We Like Theme Parks tomorrow. We drop a new episode. It's me and Bondo talking about UK Universal.
Yes.
Who'd have thunk it? And then yeah, you can find me on Instagram, TinkerJ787. My posts are lacking, but my stories are strong. So you should come check it out.
Thank you. Why does this happen every time? There we go. It's me. Yes, and if you're watching, this is my channel. Please subscribe, like, comment. Actually, yeah, comment. you're one of the people still watching, leave a comment. It helps the algorithm. So yeah, you'll find me here. Find me on Instagram at YipChuck. Trying a new thing where I post every day to see if it makes the Instagram robots like me slightly more. We'll find out. It's a slow burn. Yeah, back next week. My personal favorite Cinderella movie. The music is bonkers good. The cast is just as good. Can't wait to discuss it, to describe it, to do all the things. Anyway, see you then. How do you end this?